Good morning, everyone. Welcome to my channel. I'm Marianne, and you're watching Marianne's Mystic Mentions. Thank you so much for tuning in and taking the time to stop by. I am reading the May readings, and generally with my format, for those that are new, welcome. Returning, always, thank you so very much for your support, your likes, and subscribing. It means the world to me. It helps my channel a great deal, so I appreciate it. Thank you so much. So the format, I read for every sign of the zodiac. I generally do a reading per day. I don't feel there's a rush, and I definitely have another job and other things happening. I do readings in person. I'd love to do them video, which has been an ongoing desire of mine. So I think during this Mercury retrograde that's approaching, we're already in the shadow period. It'll start on May 10th. It's actually a perfect time to start doing the last minute, things that can help with anything, knowing it doesn't necessarily, particularly with technology. Technology gets a little funky. The uploads take longer for me when I'm doing my readings. It doesn't stop me, it just slows things down. And so I hope to be able to figure out exactly, it's not difficult, but it's just something that I'm not really, savvy in, as far as figuring out how to let you know that I do readings probably 2 days a week and set that up. So I read for every sign, and today's what I call featured sign is that of the beautiful water element of Cancer. And it's interesting, we had the moon in Cancer up until 7:50 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And then it just went into Leo. But Cancer, there's still the little remnants. And so Cancer, of course, you being a water sign, ruled by the moon, there's a great deal of emotion involved with any water sign, but definitely with Cancer. There's a mother type of archetype, whether you're a man or a woman. There's a huge, huge connection and desire for family, and whoever you consider family, you love to nurture and to care for and to make sure that your home is, as comfortable as can be. You like to keep it up. You like to have it looking good. You like to, a lot of times Cancers love to cook. And I know there's always exceptions. This is a general rule, but, there are archetypes for a reason, and they have come to be very, very accurate throughout the thousands of years, and I've been studying as a compatibility enthusiast since I was 12, so that's a long time. And it's true. I meet people through my work, through my readings, and I just, it's so accurate, and so anyway, Cancer, you're also a cardinal sign. You represent the beginning of the summer season, which is coming right up. Hard to believe. And you actually love water, if that, that's just exactly what's coming through. I've known a lot of water signs that really enjoy being at the beach for vacations, maybe versus, the woods or the forest or the desert. Not that you don't like that, but I think you cater more to it, and it just makes sense. It's internally who you are. You're drawn by the tides and the moods, and you sense and feel so very strongly. You're very capable of being empathic, very psychic a lot of times, very interested in astrology and, the unknown, because you're kind of in tune and have been someone blessed with that type of those gifts. We all have them. I just think you know what I mean. So I feel like, especially with the moon having been in your sign for a couple days, you may have and may continue to get some pretty interesting downloads or prophetic or important dreams, okay? Now, we do have the beautiful benevolent planet of Jupiter, which is just, it visits each sign every 12 years. So it's not a lot of times, and it's so important and special when it happens. It expands things, you get great opportunities, you have luck that comes out of nowhere. It's just like your special gift from the universe, and it has been in the sign of Pisces. And that will change on the 10th, which is the very same day that Mercury officially goes retrograde. And I think having Pisces and Jupiter has been spectacular for all water signs and for all of us in general. And yet more so for the water, because that's the element, the fundamental aspect that's very much there, even though there are differences. You know, Pisces is a mutable sign. Cancer, you're a cardinal sign. So you initiate things. You like to do things, keep busy. You're very resourceful, very sentimental, very romantic. You do have this, well, you're known as the symbol of the crab, and the crab has this harder outer shell, right, to kind of protect them, when within is this soft and mushy and just so sentimental, loving, caring, beautiful person, you know. And sometimes you don't always want that to be seen. I found that to be true with my relationships with Cancers. I have had best friends, one in particular, you know, we went to junior high and high school and moved into our apartment together, our first apartment. There's my grandmother, who oh my gosh, I still think about. I love her so dearly. She was just always made you feel so much love. And, you know, and the list goes on. I think it's an exceptional time for you. There's been phenomenal things that have happened, even starting at the last day of the month in April, with the new solar eclipse moon in Taurus, which is extremely good for you as a water sign. Taurus being an earth element. We're still in the season of Taurus, so there's this kind of beautiful, grounded, stable, comforting nature, I don't know, just sensual energy that's been happening. And then on the 10th, we have Jupiter changing from Pisces to Aries. So look out, everybody. I already feel it. I do have a moon placement in Aries, and I'm really grateful for that. So anybody with any placement, including any Cancers I'm speaking to, if you know that, you can always look it up for free. It's going to affect you more than if you don't, but we're all going to be affected. And listen, Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. Aries is a fire sign. Aries is also a cardinal sign like yourself. So, I mean, doers, movers, shakers, initiators, leaders, innovators, you know, we're coming out of our shells, literally and figuratively, okay, as far as you're concerned, Cancer. And it feels good. And today's moon being in Leo is just an example of that feeling and the strength and the courage we all have when we allow ourselves to, you know, to be the best we can, and to certainly believe in ourselves and go with this wonderful energy happening. Now, retrogrades tend to slow things down. Technology gets a little funky. Communications can definitely get muddled and, you know, unclear. If you do have, like, an example from, like myself, a job, and you keep an appointment, double check those. It's a great time to go on vacation, I'll tell you that much, right? Retreat, relax, renew, revisit. All the re's happen in a Mercury retrograde period. And it's through June 3rd. There's a speech thing I'm speaking of. It's through June 3rd. The shadow period would be officially probably over by June 18th. Just double check your itinerary and make sure, you know, you're not going to be confused or misunderstanding about the time and the places you need to be, and especially collaborating with others. But in finishing, I will say, as far as the astrology part of the reading today, we do have that beautiful, beautiful second eclipse, because they always run in pairs, in the sign of Scorpio on the 16th, full lunar eclipse. I feel this is going to be phenomenal for you, Cancer, as a fellow water sign. It is definitely intense. It is definitely sensual. It is definitely romantic, and it's transformational, and it's powerful. I'll just leave it at that. I don't know how it'll affect you specifically, but there's magic and mystery and a lot of high intuitive qualities to this moon. Truth gets shown at these times, especially with the full moon. It shines a light on what needs to be worked through, and maybe things that might be a little weak it can then be culminated and finished and starting new again, you know, as we approach the new moon. But I absolutely love it. I feel great about it. And then, of course, we have the new moon in Gemini at the end of the month, which is what the sign of Mercury retrograde is in, along with it being then Gemini season. So lots to have. I mean, there's such a combination of opportunities and feelings and emotion and changes and everything that, you know, just make sure you utilize the grounding energy of this beautiful Taurus that we're in right now through the 20th of May energy, along with that new moon that could have started some incredible long-term beautiful seeds that were planted and that you will be seeing the results of for years to come. And months for sure, because eclipses do affect us a good upwards of 6 months. And so, yes, the eclipse season is intense at times, and it's quick, and it's like things come and go, and you didn't see them coming. You have Uranus as part of being in the picture because Uranus is in the sign of Taurus, so that's unexpected. Freedom, surprises, unpredictability, technology. It's a gamut, but I think you can make it one of the best months of your life. I really do, and I would love to hear about that. So the routine, I would say, or the usual protocol I do is I will read, first of all, pick your spiritually guided love connection reading. Now, love of all different types, doesn't have to be romantic. I think it's going to be heightened in romance this month. I forgot to mention that when we have Jupiter entering into Aries, that is the polar opposition, meaning 6 signs away from on the astrology wheel. Where's Aries? Here's Aries, and directly across we have Libra. So that is a sign that is ruled by Venus, as is Taurus, and it's all about love and romance and partnerships and friendships and, you know, great relationships, working towards that, you know, constantly wanting to, you know, be as fair as possible when it comes to Libra, seeing different sides of a situation and working them through, you know, and just that heart-centered, just magical Venus, feminine energy, feeling good, feeling beautiful, making things around you beautiful like you'd like to do as well, Cancer. Very creative sign that you are. A lot of gorgeous things. So let's pick your spiritually guided love connection. Now, this could be a person, situation that has the energy of this particular sign that comes up. Could definitely be somebody you were with already, somebody coming into the picture because of Mercury retrogrades tending to definitely bring people back. It's pretty exciting, really. Who's it going to be? If you have someone in mind, you could definitely maybe bring that and manifest that even quicker. With this Aries energy, that's just like, I'm going for it. It's happening. You know, the confidence, as I said, is phenomenal. So, and you have Leo. So there you go. And I thought that coming in because I double checked to make sure when the moon was going to change signs, and sure enough, it's today, and it's going into Leo. Now, I know on a personal level and a professional level, so many partnerships that are Cancer and Leo. They just have this magnetism, you know, and there's this tension, I always say, when you have water and fire, it gets boily and steamy and romantic and sensual and sexual and all the things I mentioned. And it's fun. And I mean, Leo is very much a leader, and you feel the strength of him, and you just want to be around that, and you want to emit that to him back and forth and care for him and listen to what he has to say and nurture him, because they love to be, you know, noticed and paid attention to. But they're leaders, and they're incredibly artistic and clever. A lot of them, I find, including in my own family, are actors. They have huge hearts. They are so passionate. When they're in love, it is the real deal, and they will treat you and put you on a pedestal and treat you like a queen. So we know, Cancer, that's where you're going. That's exactly what you love, and it matters a lot. And I think if it's not romantic, you have some really great friendships that are coming, and socializing comes into play also with Leo as being a very social sign. Now, a lot of Cancers are, depending on your placements. But you're going to be with Leo, I can promise you that. It'll kind of get you out of your shell, and it'll be fun. It'll be fun. Let's focus on fun after the last couple of years. So I'm excited about that for you. And it's very perfect for the fact that, you know, Leo just went in, the moon went into Leo. So it's sounding pretty good so far. Let's see what the reading has to say, and hopefully you'll resonate. I always recommend you watch your sun, moon, and ascendant signs to get a really much better in-depth reading about yourself, because we're far more than just our sun sign, though it's absolutely important part of who we are. And so the first week, which is basically today, makes the first week. So let's see how it, you know, kind of resonates or connects with you as to what's happened thus far. And you have, and by the way, I'm using the beautiful Light Seers deck. It's one of my favorite decks. I got it as a gift last Christmas. It's amazing and beautiful, beautiful illustrations. And you have the Five of Pentacles. Okay, now, this is interesting because, well, it's the earth element, first and foremost. And that is Taurus, Capricorn, and Virgo. And the Five of Pentacles is halfway to the 10. The 10 is the optimal. The 10 of Pentacles is the wealth and the health and all the things that matter to you, family, and just the perfect conditions on this planet Earth, right? Because it's about earthliness and how we're living our lives and our sustenance and that sort of thing. And our value, which is what I want to bring up about this card. Now, the Five of Pentacles, you see these two people walking under this lit window, and I don't remember seeing this one specifically. Okay, there's one person. That's why I like to wear my glasses. And, you know, different decks represent it in a different way, but it's all similar. You see this forlorn, saddened person outside this door, and it's brightly lit, and it has a Five Pentacles. Now, what's happening here is it's showing this part that every one of us living, that I've ever known and I probably will ever meet, will have times when we're feeling less than, not important, not like we're enough, you know, all the things that perhaps came to us as a younger person, someone, whether it be parenting or teaching or whatever, you know, they did or said something that made you feel less than, like that you weren't enough. And it sticks with us sometimes, you know. So even though we grow up and we realize, of course we're enough, we're just living as being enough, right? We have a lot to offer, but beyond that, just being a human being in this life and in this spirit form and a body and so forth is always enough. And sometimes we go in and out of realizing that, and it could have a lot to do with what's happened in the world, right? And maybe ideas that weren't coming through, or they're not coming through quick enough. So it's making you question things. But this is here to remind you that you've got guidance, and that if you're feeling that way, allow that to happen. Don't dismiss it. It's not that it's not important. I know this feeling well. I have experienced this many times, and I still do, but for far shorter periods, because I don't want to feed into it. So I want to invite you to say, not feeling great, not 100% sure if it's actually me, if I'm picking up as you would as a water sign Cancer, you know, being empathic, and kind of maybe if you're around people that are negative or toxic, as they say, or, you know, not positive, it's going to rub off on you. So make sure you're understanding that, in fact, whether it is you or not, and then after that, just realize I absolutely am everything I need to be. I have it all within me, and I choose to be a happy person and content with exactly what I have at this very time and moment, you know, in the present moment. That's a very helpful thing, I find. And I hope you can relate to that. And I'm thinking if that's what's happened the first week, now I'm even more curious to see when you do stop and you realize, okay, not having the best week, what else do we have ahead of us, right? Because that's the attitude. Every day changes, every hour changes, every moment changes. And so, yeah, just being aware of that, knowing you're halfway there. 5 is no slouch. It's 5 of Pentacles. You know, it's about your sustenance, like I said, your ability to create and have your comforts that you want. And, you know, everything happens in cycles. We know that. So let's see what's going on here, because you got so much positive energy working for you. And I feel like this full moon in Scorpio is really going to put a light to any subject that you may be questioning, as I mentioned. And there you go. So you think about it, you're feeling sad, maybe you've lost something, I don't know. And I know we all have in some way, shape, or form, certainly in the last couple of years, more than I really want to say. But your second week, with that full moon on the 16th, 15th, 16th, depending where you are, is the 3 of Cups. This is extreme emotional happiness. This is friendship. This is getting together. This could be a gathering. And it could be, you know, birthdays or celebrations that you're having with a great Taurus friend, because, like I said, there's a great sense of, I don't know, synergy, if for lack of a better word, with the water and the earth elements. So, and you could be partying hardy because, you know, those Leos love to party and have fun and take you places and show you the world, and just, you know, in the highest fashion. I mean, no holes barred when it comes to extravagance and the generosity that comes from Leos, as mentioned in your love connection. It's out there. So yeah, it looks really beautiful. So whatever was happening and how you're feeling, it's going to be very short-lived. And that's the best thing, because we can, and I choose to, I hope you do as well, pick our thoughts. And when they're coming in and they're not feeling good, saying the affirmations, sitting in quiet time, which is something that water signs need to do, I would say, more than other elements or signs. And it really pays off. It doesn't even have to be a long time. Just give yourself the time to just sit and take those deep breaths and ground yourself and get energized. And then, like the phoenix rising and the beautiful example of the transformational sign of Scorpio, ruled by Pluto, all about transformation, which happens to be, the planet Pluto happens to be in retrograde. So there's a lot more introspection, and we're going to feel that for the remainder of the retrograde, which will, I think it stations direct Pluto on October 8th. So yeah, it's gorgeous. You're already doing the right thing. It's just you knew, you felt it, you didn't feel good, and you're like, nope, want to change that, and you can, and you did, and you are. And it's about having fun, because it's that time. And I mean, spring has been amazing, and with your summer month coming, wow, there's so much. There's vacations, there's things to plan, there's friends to visit that we haven't been able to, and so forth, family and whatnot. Third week, well, it just keeps getting better, because you made the point of saying, I am not willing to feel less than. I am not willing to be sad for too long, but it's okay. Like I said, if you do feel sad, I mean, we are human and it does happen. And you have the 9 of Cups, wishes fulfilled. Look at the yellow, look at the power. There's that energy and that solar plexus that we all are stronger than we give ourselves credit for. This Leo moon today is going to perk you back up and say, oh yeah. And then Aries, the Jupiter in Aries, forget about it. It's on, Cancer. You're going to come out and you're going to be doing things, and you're going to be feeling things. You're going to have this streak of independence and just freedom of choice and desire and creativity like you haven't had in 12 years, because that's how long it's been since Jupiter's been in Aries. So fantastic. Look at that. Look at the joy and the happiness. And it's been what you've waited for this, because, you know, I'm sure you've had great times in the last few years, but this is going to be better than you probably expected for a longer length of time, and faster as well. So congratulations on that. I absolutely love this. You're coming in very strong with your energy. And the fourth and final week, which will be the new Moon Gemini I mentioned. Now remember, even with this retrograde, I feel like the energies of Jupiter will supersede the slowing down and the waiting and the being flexible. And if things happen with transportation or you have a miscommunication happen, you just make it right. You know, you just resend that email and you resend the text and say, oops, I made a mistake. I apologize. I did not mean that. Or I meant to send that to so-and-so. People understand. It's not the first time to be with, you know, it's not the first rodeo with these Mercury retrogrades. Also, you're a caring person and they know that. So it's easily remedied. But the final week, what do we have for you? Seven of Swords. Very interesting. So I almost want to equate this to the Five of Pentacles, and it's the one that represents, well, the swords of the air. Okay, so let's see, there's Gemini right off the bat. Libra or Aquarius. Now, Saturn's been in the sign of Aquarius. Saturn is our taskmaster. Saturn makes things, you know, a little more serious, okay? It's the time that we put out in our lives, and I'm losing my train of thought. I apologize. Because at the same time, I was realizing that Scorpio, of course, being in the 8th house has to do with other people. Yes, partnerships, but other people's money, for example, you know, the government, inheritances from people dying or not, you know, it doesn't have to be that. It could be, you know, just the life and the death, the birth renewal, the cycles, as I spoke of with Scorpio. It's intensity, it's sexuality, it's the rising of the phoenix is what I'm trying to say. So if that's what you did with your emotions about the Five of Pentacles, and, you know, something that made you feel left out or whatever it was, you lost something, you feel like you're not where you want to be for some reason. And then you have the Seven of Swords. So this is about a mind and about thoughts, and maybe not in the best way, but the Seven of Swords can be a couple of things. It can be absolutely leaving situations that have not been good for you. You've known that. You don't enjoy the people and how they think. You're not on the same wavelength as far as that goes. And I mean, that's understandable. We don't always have to agree with everybody. We certainly don't always disagree. I just feel like you're ready to leave that sort of energy behind, that they were maybe not being completely real with you. And you can pick up on that stuff. You know, you're very good at that. I feel like this is the full moon, and there's that truth coming out. Somebody may have pretended to be somebody they're not, or pretended to be your friend and they're not, you know, all those things that come with life. You know, so what? It's just not important. It doesn't matter. And I love that. And that's the new moon, leaving that to start yet fresh again. You know, sometimes we're put in situations we didn't necessarily ask for, so we think. That's a whole other video. And yet, everything's a lesson, you know, and nothing is ever done to actually hurt us. It's only if we're hurt, for example, by a situation, we learn from it. I don't like that. I don't want to be around that circumstance. It doesn't work for me. It might work for others. I have my choices. I have my strength. I have my courage. I have my independence to do what I want. Always have and always will. Such as these readings. These are informational. They're guidance and such. But you can do and be exactly who you need to be. So I really like that, actually. That's fantastic, because once again, starting with this feeling of being left out. Maybe you've been left out and these people have just not been a good friend or friends, or, you know, people to work with, or whatever the case may be. You may be kidding yourself and thinking something's good when it's not. That's also a part of this. It's leaving. You're walking away from it. You've got too much invested in being happy. You've got great friends who support you, and those are the ones you want to be with anyway. It doesn't matter how many, it's the quality, right? Not the quantity. So I like that a lot, and there's a mixture of a little bit of each, which is also definitely life and definitely this month and the energies that are being presented to us. So I think it's fantastic. I'm going to now read your oracle message, which is through this beautiful Wisdom of the Hidden Realm by Colette Baron Reed, and this is specifically for you, Cancer, for the month of May. And I hope you can once again feel the resonance. If you don't feel something right away, it could take some time. There's no specific time with spirituality, or, you know, when we connect. You might have already had all of this happen, for all I know, and you're just like, oh, okay, yeah, that's right, that happened. Done with it and moving on, as this Seven of Swords represents. You know, it's just, we get to pick and choose. And I know I want the happiest and the best life. That's always my goal. And I'm willing to do and be what it takes to make that happen. So I feel that you would do as well. So your message, my dear, Cancers. This is what I'm talking about. This is why I love being here and allowing Spirit to work through me and speak through me as a conduit, basically, right? Does for all of us. I'm not an exception to that by any means. And you have the Phoenix. Resurrection, surrender to change. Number 29, which equals 11. And that's a master number, but it equals 2. And that's partnerships, okay? And just the renewal, the beautiful, positive, beautiful energy, because we have higher energies and lower energies in every one of the signs of the zodiac. In every aspect of our life, we have our shadow side and so forth. This is Scorpio. This is important for you. This is going to transform your life, and that's actually what eclipses are about. That's what they're designed to do. And even if it feels uncomfortable at times at first, it is absolutely for our highest good. That's so perfect for you. I love that, and I'm going to read to you what it says specifically too. So 29. Let me set this up here. I've got another couple little things if you want to stick around. I have a motivational message, and then your rune, and then you get to just go out and embrace beautiful, you know, May, because it's a lot, and it's beautiful, and it's powerful, and I think it'll be a once in a lifetime situation with a lot of you that you'll think back on and think, wow, May of 2022. So the Phoenix appears as your ally to celebrate your journey and to ensure your ultimate success. This is true, which is fulfilled. This is true even if it appears that you've been just passed through a metamorphical experience of death, or are currently enduring a perception of failure in your life. How synchronistic is that? That's the first week of this month where you came in thinking, oh my God, it's not happening, and I don't deserve it, I'm not enough, I feel left out, what I mentioned with the 5, which, you know, our minds can be incredible supportive things, and it can be also the opposite. So I absolutely love that. Well, you're not a failure, of course. Death and rebirth are related when you enter the realm of the Phoenix. Seen in this light, nothing truly dies, but rather changes. Wow. From one ending directly into new beginnings, the Phoenix is constantly reinventing itself and rises up whole and new and even more powerful with every death it experiences. See, so it's not literal death, right? But we do go through changes our whole life. My gosh. Can you imagine being in one home and one job? And I mean, a lot of people keep the same job. I admire that at the same time. I've had so many. But nevertheless, you know where I'm going and what it's saying to you. Or perhaps you end a job, a project, or even a life. Perhaps no failure is involved, but it's time for a complete overhaul of your circumstances. You may be tired of what you're doing, or you may intuitively know it's time to move on and try something new. And that's exciting too. And that's that Aries energy. New, new, new. Number 1 in the zodiac. First sign of zodiac, representing the first season of spring, you know, all the above. For a long time, that energy is going to be with you, because it's going to be through October, and then Jupiter goes back into Pisces through the 20th of December, and then it's back into Aries again through May 16th, I believe. So get yourself ready, because it's going to be a beautiful ride. So yeah, that's basically it in a nutshell. Whatever you do now will indeed be a successful endeavor, for a rebirth is imminent. And I'm telling you right now, with my clients and on a daily basis now, I couldn't count, myself included. Well, I just moved my location where I was working. I'm still a massage therapist, but I have other things up my sleeve. And I cannot tell you all the people that have made changes in the last year. It's, well, in my whole life, which is, you know, a few years now. It's actually the most I've ever experienced. And congratulations for them and for us and for everybody who has the courage to do that and who knows when it's time and has that innate calling, because it's there for us once again. Now, I'm going to read the motivational manifesto message, which I think is beautiful because it's uplifting. Once again, just for you, Cancer. And, you know, I don't necessarily have to shuffle them too much, but I don't want to do the same readings for each featured sign. So you have, when our hearts yearn for action and growth, we should care little about what society says is possible or prudent. That's right. You're an individual. You don't have to follow a trend or a, you know, dogma of any kind. You know, it's not about society. And yes, it's good to get along. And yes, it's good to have the social part of our lives. But doggone it, it's when our hearts yearn for action and growth. And apparently that's very much happening for you, Cancers. I want to take a snapshot because that's a beautiful thing to remember and say over and over, like a mantra, right? So now I finished with your beautiful rune, kind of like I like to say, the cherry on this Sunday. So I pick it from this beautiful red velvet bag, and then I read to you the specifics about it, because I love runes. They're one of my favorite divinations. Been around for thousands of years. Okay. Oh my gosh. I'm wanting to memorize them, so I asked for this gift for Christmas of the flashcards. And I didn't know what this was, and now I'm forgetting, but that's okay. I'll read it to you anyway. It looks like I don't know how to describe it, but I want to say Gibo. And it's the alphabet, the Greek alphabet. So let's see what that's about, and let me see if I can find it, and then I will definitely be able to find it, but I don't need the instructions, and then read to you just to see what it's about, because I find that it's very congruent with a lot of the readings I've been doing, and I just love that. Here it is. Okay, Spirit. No. Pertho. It's a P, which is weird, right? I mean, you wouldn't think that. It doesn't look anything like the English language, or not that you're English. Anybody who knows the alphabet would realize that that's, you know, doesn't look like it. But it's going to now, because that's what it is, and I really want to memorize that because I can remember it being so not looking like that. Pertho. Letter P, room 14, which equals a 5, which, you know, that's a challenge, and that's things working through challenges. Some challenges are welcome because we want to get past it, and it gives us the incentive. And God knows we have the motivation and the power coming for us. So that can be a good thing. Theme is dice cup. Keywords, karma, chance, and mysteries. There's that. There's you. There's the Scorpio influence that's already happening, because many times a lot of us that are sensitive and empathic and psychic, we feel things pretty far before they're actually happening. Visions, intuition, revealed truth. My goodness. So synchronistic with the reading and what's happening in the skies. Magical working, divine hidden facts, occult initiations, understanding fate, developing intuition. It would be very strong. All you need to do is ask for it if that's what you want, because I know I do. Key phrases: all will be revealed, a leap of faith, trust your intuition, hidden forces influence the outcome, roll of the dice, take your chance. Got to take risks, right? I know you're not a risky person as a rule, Cancer, but I think you're changing that way. I really do. I think you're thinking, not crazily, you know, you're going to be smart in your risk taking, but I think it's about that. I think it's really about, okay, I have my dreams, I have my close unit of friends, or, you know, tribe, whatever you want to call them, that I know will support me regardless, and I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna leave behind things that I know aren't right, and I've known that. I'm gonna be honest with myself and just make it happen. So beautiful reading, and I've got a little bit of goosebumps that just happened because this is a magical time, and I love that you would be here. So if you liked it, thumbs up, subscribe, share. Super helpful and beautiful. Have a wonderful, wonderful month. Take good care. I'll be back for the June readings. I hope that you will come back as well. Okay? Until then, thanks a lot. Bye-bye.